my voice automatically creates a structure if I hear some chords or I play some chords. So that's how I just started writing songs, and I started more and more feel comfortable to perform them live and do something that I always thought is the opposite of what I'm like meant to do as a contemporary artist, because for me singing songs in a row it's the biggest convention. No, in art is like the most conventional thing you can do as an artist on stage. And I thought as a contemporary artist you should never do this. You should always like break this convention, all possible conventions. But I kind of betrayed myself as a contemporary artist and started doing kind of the most conventional thing. But I kind of enjoy it because I like this limitation of expression that I have. So the vocabulary that I operate with is very limited. I just have few melodies and few sentences, most of them very cheesy. But somehow in this kind of betrayal, I realize I find some really beauty, and I find myself very vulnerable there. And I think people also kind of recognize themselves when they listen to those songs. It's very vulnerable, but this vulnerability and this innocence and this sadness kind of is taken to another level and glorified and made beautiful. So it becomes from suffering and pain and weakness, it becomes like a trip or like a flying and like a journey. So as a contemporary artist, before I was mostly serving the art itself, now I'm mostly serving the people. That's the difference. For me, choreography has been a very open idea and very open space and a platform that you can experiment a lot with different formats. So for me, the choreography is more in the setting up the context, or creating a new format, or kind of setting up the rules in which things can happen and things can start move and the elements can start collide or disrupt or clash or kind of challenge themselves. So for me it's more interesting to, as a contemporary artist, as a choreographer, always has been to find formats in which I can meet elements that I haven't been before, like colliding or meeting, or of course challenging myself on some moral, political, cultural, ethical topics, and by this also challenging my audience and sharing those challenges with them in a well-articulated and careful and respectful way. The work in the songs are much more precise, so it's less interactive, and this is what makes me also more vulnerable, because before I can do whatever I want, I can change the structure anytime, I can change text, I can change anything. But when you have a song, you know that there are 300 people like watching and they're waiting for this song and they love this song the way they've heard it, like online probably on YouTube, they came to the concert, they want to hear the same song. Yeah, I don't want to fuck it up, you know, I don't want to like make it, change it or deconstruct it. Doesn't make any sense. I want to like give it in the best possible way. But you know, between the songs I have my freedom that I can talk weird things sometimes and kind of disrespect myself and disrupt and subvert myself as a singer, as a songwriter, and I'm often doing this and making fun of myself constantly. And selfie concert is another way of also kind of disturbing my comfort as a singer, as a kind of in my security, you know, with the song, because I have all the time the people around and they're like doing all kind of weird things. I have no really control what's going on many times. So I think selfie concert is kind of one door that I opened for a kind of disruption and deconstructing this very established conventional context as what is like presenting songs and sing them in a row. Well, I think I will probably find other ways to do the kind of deconstruct this situation and find my own freedom, because I have used to have a lot of freedom as a contemporary artist and performer and choreographer. And I think once you get used to so much freedom and options, there's no way out. You're kind of addicted to it. So I would never be a proper singer, I believe, like a proper musician. I would always be probably the weird one, like what people see, what's the whole composition, what's the dramaturgical, what's the message, where are the challenges, where are the unsafe places for everyone, and how I'm operating with like the dangerous zones. And you know, when you propose something which people haven't used to as a topic or an idea, and you have to be very careful how to articulate so people don't just leave the theater, because if you work with the challenges and difficult issues and topics, you have to be very careful and articulate it as an artist, otherwise people just easily just get distracted and just leave and reject you. But now I don't have to do this, thank God. I've done it a lot, and for me all these challenges are on a different level. I'm still growing up as a musician. I think once I grow up enough and I feel comfortable enough with the instrument, my instrument, then I can probably find a way to probably talk about bigger things and talk about issues inside the music context, probably, as I was questioning before, everything inside the contemporary art field. But as I was like between 20 and 30, I was just like doing performances, like choreographing works, making solos for other people, just trying to master the craft and master my instrument as a choreographer, as somebody who puts things together. And now I'm still in this level period of my growing as a musician, that I don't have to do this. I still just have to become as good as possible. And then when I have the freedom and when I have the knowledge of the context itself, because I'm still not fully entering and haven't fully entered the music context, when I enter it, when I know it, then I can start probably manipulating it, question it, or subvert it. But I still just want to be a good musician. And I'm a singer-songwriter since 5 years practically. So I'm still a child, you know, I'm still very new. But I learn very fast, so let's see. And I have a big practice of performing for like 30 years on stage, so I think I'm optimist. Yes.
When I need you close to me, dear, I write another love song with all the love you gave